please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Let's bring in the management of Equitas now. Equitas, made a high of 200 rupees plus sometime in July of 2016. From 200 plus, it fell to about 135 rupees last month. It's back. It's up a little bit, 140 plus now. Almost 150 now. Stock's up about 1%. We've got a brokerage report from Edelweiss, which basically talks about how Equitas is one of their top sector picks. They've got a price target of 220 rupees. And they're essentially pretty bullish on the non-microfinance book supporting AUM growth over the next 2 years. We have Mr. P. N. Vasudevan, Managing Director and CEO at the bank, joining us. Mr. Vasudevan, thanks very much for your time. Good to have you here. Prashant this side. Specifically, if I can use the crutch of Aisher and Ashok Leyland sales numbers which came through, just ask you, what is the commercial vehicle financing book really looking like? I mean, how is that business doing? And then we'll get into the broader discussion.
Yeah, sure. Morning and thank you. The non-microfinance book, as of September when we had reported, the non-microfinance book had actually grown by about 35%, but the overall book had grown only by 3%. But we had guided for a 15% overall growth for the rest of the year, and if we achieve a 15% growth by end of the year, what it would mean really is that the non-microfinance would actually have then grown by about 50%. See, in the first half, the microfinance, we are consciously reducing because of post-demonetization, whatever was the impact. So we had actually consciously been reducing the book on microfinance. So from 3,300 crores, we had reduced it to 2,650 crores in September. So most of the reduction we wanted to achieve, we ended up achieving by end of the first half itself. So in the second half, the reduction in microfinance would be more marginal. And that's why we expect that most of the growth of the other non-microfinance products will actually sit on the book. In terms of commercial vehicle, yes, we had been doing used commercial vehicle now for the last 6 years. And recently we have started our funding for new light commercial vehicles. So the growth in the light commercial vehicle has been very strong in the first half and continues to be so even in the month of October. So we should be picking up a good market share as far as the new light commercial vehicles are concerned.
Okay. Mr. Vasudevan, if you could share some numbers with us about the CV book. What is the market size for the used CV that you are financing at this point? What are the growth rates there? As well as for LCV, which you mentioned, how much did it grow in the first half? What are you envisaging in the second half? And how big is that book as well?
Yeah. So our used commercial vehicle, the book is around 2,200 crores. That's been growing at an approximate rate of anywhere around 20%. The market for used commercial vehicle, of course, is very large. There's a lot of unmet demand. In fact, 80% of all our used commercial vehicle customers that we have funded so far, we have funded more than about 120,000 customers so far. Out of that, 80% of the customers are first-time buyers, meaning that we are actually creating markets. We are not really taking market share from others. We are actually creating markets where we are getting the people who are excluded back into the mainstream. So that's been doing well. Of course, the NPA is always an issue in used commercial vehicle. And during July and August, we did see a spike in NPA because of the GST and the little bit of slowdown on the billing and transportation. But September and October have been very good. As far as the new light commercial vehicle is concerned, we just started that in the top 20 cities in the country, and even within the first 3-4 months of launch that we have done so far, we have been able to pick up a market share of around 1 to 1.5% in these markets, and so we are now doing roughly about 600-700 units funding a month, and that's something that we should look to grow for as we go by.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, everybody's excited about what the non-MFI book will do, and absolutely rightly so. You said it's grown, if the overall book is to grow 15%, the non-MFI is to grow 50% this year. So that's the focus. But for the MFI business, instead of the gradual reduction, is there any other way that you can, rid yourself of that book, so to speak?
No, actually, see, microfinance is not something we want to rid ourselves of. You know, microfinance has a lot of plus points and a lot of benefits. There's a large demand. There's a large number of people who need that kind of a support, and the microfinance service is something that is very useful for that set of customers because they are able to borrow from us a certain amount of loan for a certain duration at a certain rate, which is simply not available to them from any
Oh, yeah,
other source.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's actually very good.
No,
for
I'm
us
talking about from a
customer
business perspective,
and
your
the
perspective.
demand is very large.
Yeah.
So we have no intent of getting out of. Sorry. Yeah, so we have no intent of getting out of microfinance. All we have said right from the, in 2010, we took a call to reduce microfinance to 50% in 5 years. So by 2016, we did reduce it to 50%. Then we said by 2019, we'll reduce it to 1/3. But after the demon and the kind of losses that we incurred, we said instead of 2019, we'll reduce it to 1/3 by 2018, which we have done that. Now we have more or less achieved that in the first half. So the second half reduction in MFI will be more gradual and much less compared to the first half. But on our long-term basis, we would want microfinance to continue to be a percentage of our total book. We have no intent of stopping it or anything. It will continue to be a certain percentage, so that in case of any even risk like what happened post demonetization, in case of such even risk, if at all such things happen in the future, we should not as a bank be too badly impacted. So MFI will continue to be a certain part of our book.
Okay, fair enough, Mr. Vasudevan. Completely run out of time, but thank you very much for joining in with your quick thoughts. That's the management of Equitas.